Hello, everyone. I don't know why I'm laughing. Oh, I got a
Hi,
picture here.
everyone.
Let me get this up here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Scale Modelers Across the Pond Hangout. I am your host, Scratch and Jack. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus and Facebook community of scale modelers reaching across all scale modeling genres and mediums and to encourage friendships from around the world. And today we hope you will find it to be an important source of information about the hobby and hear something new about the hobby and see firsthand what the scale modeling experience is like. And joining me today are the usual suspects to help me kill time and doing all these things. And if you want to join us, and the live chat is open, I haven't brought it up yet, but the live chat is open. Go to the Google Plus, go to the YouTube channel, Amazing Scale Modelers, and it will be right there. So bring your questions, comments, all are welcome today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and make suggestions about our good looks. But first, you know what? I don't have any community roundups. I shirked my duty on the first show back after a hiatus of what, 2 months, about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And certainly I spent a good time of it doing my thing. And all I have to show is an Eclipse t-shirt. That's all I have to show for it. So that was actually an amazing site. I highly recommend making an effort. It is not what you see in the photographs. The whole, how should I say, the 360-degree experience is absolutely amazing. It's no wonder the ancients feared the eclipse, not understanding what it was. Certainly, it was fascinating, haunting, and even just absolutely beautiful. So you got to see the sun's corona and all its filaments. Seriously, it was just absolutely amazing. And to have 10-degree drop in temperature and some darkness in the middle of a very hot, humid day in Tennessee. That's where I was, near Pigeon Forge. I spent a couple of nights there. And I went to a Hollywood car museum. I have pictures, and I'm wanting to get together a little video to show you all what I had seen. And well, without further, that's actually my only roundup I have. I've been looking at the community. You all have been very creative, prolific, and hardworking in your scale modeling. I am so impressed. I am so pleased. Everybody's having a good time this summer. And just, oh, yeah, here's a roundup item. Of course, we still have the community builds. That would be the stunt and speed, anything that's fast or performed a stunt for the first time or does stunts on a regular basis. That could be airplanes, cars, mostly, as it turns out. It can be anything. It could be anything. And of course, we have the custom muscle and what do you call it? The streetcar build. That will be what you find at car shows and conventions and get-togethers. And what do they call those things when they go to bars and show off their cars?
Cruise
I think
nights.
cruise nights. That's right. Anything you see on those types of things, and there's been plenty on the Facebook community to feast your eyes on. And also, well, these two are, basically out of the box builds, and the Batman build could be a what if as well. And I did see a couple of Batman things on my trip too, which was quite interesting. You would not think that in a place where Dolly grew up. Dolly, I was just thinking Dolly Madison. No, that was Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw a mock-up of the Batmobile, and I don't know which movie. I think Heath would know, but certainly we'll get to that in a moment. And also the Star Wars build. That would be anything Star Wars, a diorama, put electronics in it, sounds, action. Very sophisticated stuff. Elevate your abilities and get into other skill sets that you might have or are trying to develop. And of course, these will go to the end of the year. The car builds, the stunt and speed, and the custom muscle and street builds till the end of this month, which is right now. It's like the 26th. And if you're interested, please post. And I think in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to announce as to what to do with this, because I'd like to create videos for you guys to honor and to appreciate all the efforts that you have put into the hobby. And let me tell you, it's been quite a trip coming back and taking a look at the 2 pages on Facebook and Google Plus. Well, anyway, without any further ado, let's get to who had shown up to help me to kill this time today. And if you want to join us, the links would be on the announcements, both on Facebook community as well as the Google Plus community. There's an announcement there of these Hangouts. It will be in the comments section. So feel free to join us, and let's have a good time. How you doing, Heath?
Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. Excuse me, dry throat.
The only one that I know is that drinks Monster before bed.
It slows me down. It actually it actually calms me down quite a bit.
That's because your heart is racing.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, speaking of racing, I have finished my stunt and speed model.
Oh,
now,
nice.
There's a bit of a story to this. I know I was originally going to do the Jordan, but as what normally happens, 4-legged creature jumps up from the table, knocks off Jordan, and smasheroo. I lost the front downforce. I lost the front suspension. I also lost all 4 tires.
Oh
dear.
So I had to go to the backup plan.
The
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce the show to you the very first Ferrari F1 car I've built, and the best one, of course. This is the last of the V12s. This is a 412 T2 driven by Gerhard Berger, and there she is in all her glory.
Ah, yes.
So
I saw photos of it. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And this is my stunt and speed build. So that's done. So now I've done the cut street custom. That's down there. My stunt and speed has been done. Still working on the Star Wars one. I'm way behind on that. Because, as usual, what do we modelers do when you go to a model shop?
Oh, buy a lot of stuff.
You go to the model shop. You go in for one thing, and you come out with half a dozen. So, first things first, I'll just... Right, here we go. Right, we'll start. What I'll do is I'll just get everything... I shouldn't be too long. Here we go. Come on. Okay, we'll start off with the kits first. This model kit I've been wanting to build for a long, long time, since I saw it. So this is a Grail car kit for me. It's a Mercedes CLK GTR.
Nice.
This will be my first. This is the first for both, because it's my first prototype Le Mans car and my first Mercedes build. So 2 in 1. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, that's that. I've also started building this. This is my Poe Dameron's X-Wing, which will be going with the diorama with the rest of the small little ones. This will be the up front one. Right up front. So front, it'll make the other ones look small.
Bandai, that's what scale is that?
This is a 1/72 scale.
A 72 scale.
Yeah, I've already started it.
I have the... hell. This doesn't even have the scale on it. This is the Snap Tight from Revell.
Yep, that's the same one that I've got. But it's not a 1/72, that's probably 1/48.
I think it is a 1/48, yeah. Come to think of it, it's actually pretty large. 72 is like, I was going by the fine mold 72, which is a pretty small kit. I had one of those I built.
Oh, jeez.
It's around here,
so
but...
far,
just the Revell one?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's not tight.
Bloody wings. Right, so there's. So far, I've done the wings, and I've misplaced 2 bits.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the most hardest bits to do because they were so small. But that's okay. I can just paint them silver just to make them look like they're there. So there's the.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all done. I may be finishing this tonight after the show. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling after the show. So, yeah. I don't know if I talked about my Skyhawk before the break, but there she is. The wings are on now.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody weight. The weight's come loose, so now it's like I have to. I've had people ask, how did I get the wings on? Well, simple. I had to put the wings into the freezer, and basically had to just get a knife, like a model knife, and just basically cut along the wing, just the front part of the wing and the back part of the wing, so that I could actually get this on, get the wings on. It didn't come out. It came out. You have a look about there. There's a little bit of a nip there. And what happened there was that the knife decided to have a mind of its own and cut the flap off.
Went for a wander.
But thanks to glue, it's all repaired.
Nice.
So that's another one I'm working on. Get up the box. Ah, jeez. Oh, I hate this. I dead set hate this. Bloody boxes all over the place. Ugh. Oh, another kit I bought. Hang on. It's another rally car. This is a Lancer Evolution 7.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is to go along with my Subaru because back in the 90s, Subaru and Mitsubishi were the traditional rivals.
Uh-huh.
Were the traditional rivals of the WRC. So that's why I got that. But that came in a foam box. So what I'm doing is I'm going to utilize the foam and paint it brown and turn it into a mud scene. And put the Mitsubishi on that one and the Subaru on that one with a bit of wood frame around it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've also started my Knight Rider. That's been hell. But the other thing I've got too, I've got some more matte white, Tamiya spray, and some matte black. So that's the ones I was missing. But that's it from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's about everything I can think of right about now. But if I think of anything else, I'll chime in.
Okay. Well, that's a lot you got going on there, Heath. Can you handle it all?
You got to, when you got a stash like mine, you've got to keep busy. You got to keep busy. I've worked out that I'm going to have to make 2 kits at a time. I mean, I've just sold like a whole bunch of model kits that I wasn't going to make anyway. And it's still bloody huge.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I don't know how many kids at the time I have to do to keep up with my stash, but
Anyway, next up.
Okay. All right. Moving on. How you doing there, Jim?
I'm doing fine there, Jack.
Yeah, I kind of missed you.
Yeah. We've all been kind of busy in that one thing. Not a lot going on the bench. I mean, I finished off my diorama. there last week, and it's all packaged up, but I will give you a look to see.
A little look-see.
Look-see. Okay. This is when I finished the landscaping.
Uh-huh.
So all the landscaping is done around the church and that now. There.
It appears that your background peaks are even creased and bent and folded. Is that right?
No, they're actually flat, but it's like a it's like a paper toll concept for 3Ding, so it's layered. So you've got the original image, and then there's 3 additional copies of the image, and then shapes are cut out of the cut out and pasted on top with a spacer.
Yeah, it's very Bob Ross of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives a sort of
good.
pseudo 3D effect.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks real good. That's the first thing that I saw actually caught my attention when you first put up the picture, oddly enough, because it is such an unusual thing to see something like that. That looks good.
Yeah. So here you can sort of see it where it's like the different levels are laminated on foam board, and then it's all glued together.
Oh, okay. That's how it's done. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And heck, the church looks good too, and the courtyard. That looks really good.
Yeah, the courtyard and that. Yeah. Some shrubbery, like it's supposed to be in a mountains area and that, so
right.
Not a lot of grass and that. That's for stuff for the lighting. This is to go into the lantern.
Mm-hmm. Be exciting to see it done too.
Yeah.
And that's the underside of the lantern.
That's the underside of the lantern. Okay. I put some foam board in along the side, and that's to support the bottom that gets glued on after everything was done.
Mm-hmm. Ah, look at that.
So there's a.
Oh wow,
that's neat. I really like that.
Yeah, that is. Boy, that 3 strips of LED sure comes up on camera.
Yeah. No, it lights up well.
Yeah. Wow. Holy, look at that. Well, you've outdone yourself there, mister.
Those lanterns would make great display cases for figure.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you figure prices of display cases, and these are only like $30. So I mean, cheaper than a display case.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is really outstanding. I mean, like I said, you keep outdoing yourself there.
Well, this is, like I said, I haven't built any architectural for quite a long while, so it was kind of fun to do this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think we talked about it when you first started, and I made the remark that this might be something much simpler than the complication that you had, like with the Formula One car.
Oh yeah, this is a lot simpler. Yeah.
But I have to say, you made it look sophisticated. That it is in the range of that Formula One car, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, a Formula One car stands on its own as being sophisticated, but something as simple as this can be sophisticated too. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the idea is being put into a lantern and have some sort of, I don't know. It's sort of like beyond any kind of thing you'll have in your home.
Yeah, it's along the same lines of like a ship in a bottle type idea, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good. That's good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ship in a bottle. That's what I was thinking of, but I couldn't put it together. Yeah, really, really nice there, Jim.
So I think that's it. So that gives you, you know, you can see the idea of the 3D effect from the back wall.
Several weeks ago, our local church had a carnival, church carnival,
Yeah.
and they inevitably always have a flea market type of setup. And I actually took a look around with the eye of getting something for modeling. And they had a section with picture frames because I'm thinking of using picture frames for
bases
and platforms for display and stuff.
Yeah.
There was one there that was almost there. One frame that was almost there. Most of it was, I don't know. I don't think I could have used it in a creative sense, but I would think that something like this lantern can be found in garage sales and yard sales and even flea markets.
Yeah.
So I think perhaps maybe next year I will make that effort to, and you know, all things turn out the way I want them to. Yeah, go to these things and look at these things with that scale modeling eye and see what can be used.
Yeah, you can do things like this. You can use jars, large jars. There's all different kinds of different vessels you can use for putting models or a diorama in.
Fish bowls. There's those huge fish
You
bowls.
can use fish bowls. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Good idea, Jim. You know, when you started it, I wasn't skeptical. I was more like in a range of, well, wait and see what happens to this. This should be interesting.
Well, this is sort of the vision I had, you know. So I mean, that's. One interest is the heat shrink. Like I didn't have a proper inline jack for the power cord, but what I did get was this special double-walled heat shrink. That it's soft, but as soon as you heat it up and shrink it, it turns into hard plastic.
Yeah.
So helps
I
protect
think
that.
it's pretty unavoidable unless you get some sort of liquid rubber, latex rubber that you would either brush it on or dip it, like they do. You can do with tool handles and whatnot.
Yeah. But I thought this was good for that because I mean I used the standard heat shrink net for the cable cover, but I used this double wall stuff for that, covering the jack.
This is all easy stuff too. Easy stuff to do. It's not that difficult, actually. No. Not that difficult. Well, would that be all? I mean, that's our 8 weeks. Come on, mister. You got to come up with something more than that.
Well, yeah.
What's your next project?
Next thing, I think, well, my plans are for the fall. I want to get started on my Arcadia. My Captain Harlock ship. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This bad boy.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay.
So I want to get started on that. So that's probably the next thing on the bench.
Really cool.
This will be all lit. I'll be lighting this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And well, maybe it also may go into a shadow box diorama too.
Oh, okay. You know how that excites me when somebody lights something, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, really cool, Jim. It's good seeing you. It's been agreeable. I think Heath is getting affected by his monster drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just fell asleep. There he is. Oh, yeah, your microphone's off.
I'm still here.
How you doing, Lou?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's nice to see you.
Jack, did you get to see your eclipse?
What's that?
Did you get to see your eclipse?
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. It was probably the most miserable trip I ever took anywhere. I stayed 2 nights in Pigeon Forge, which isn't exactly my type of place.
Oh, I can see you in Dollywood.
No, we didn't go to Dollywood though. But we did ride an alpine coaster as well as doing go-karts. The go-karts was the highlight. That was a lot of fun. The go-karts were a lot of fun, but it's just a cheesy place. And then getting out of there, now that was miserable.
I bet you
Getting out of there, it was like the disaster movie when the zombie apocalypse come and everybody's leaving town.
Or what they're doing in Texas right now.
Exactly with Harvey, the storm. But the experience itself, the 4 hours that I spent in that city park with other people and witnessing the total eclipse, it was absolutely well worth the painful trip itself. So I'd do it again in a heartbeat, actually.
I am so happy for you. I'm glad that worked out. I know the folks in Illinois were not as pleased.
Because they had storms?
Well, they had. I was watching it live, and this was that place that was supposed to have the longest amount of totality, and it was cloudy the whole day, and they saw like 20 seconds out of the 2 minutes.
That's too bad. For me, it was crystal clear wall to wall.
It was crystal clear here in Raleigh, but we only got like 95% totality. So I went out. I'm going to show you something if I can. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let's see. Is it here? Is it here? Oh, cancel. Wait a minute. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
I took a picture of the sidewalk with the shadows shining through the leaves.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, that's fascinating.
Here it is. Hold on a second. And he's going to screen share. And I'm so active today. Let me see. Screen share. And here it is. This is what the front steps look like at my house.
Oh, cool.
And those are all.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually really cool. That's a
flat piece of concrete. It's a flat piece of concrete, but it has so much dimension now because of the rounded shadows on everything.
Yeah. It's like
but those are tiny, tiny. Every one of those is a 95% eclipse shadow. The little shades are made up of that, and the shadows were so sharp in the front yard. Usually, that's a very hazy sunshine through leaves kind of look, but because of the eclipse, it was sharpening everything.
That's incredible.
I put some of that on my video this week just in case you're interested.
Okay.
Well, I actually saw the eclipse via the NASA website. Because I'm sub to that, so I watched the eclipse. Thank you to NASA. I absolutely found it enthralling. It was just, it might have been 2 minutes of darkness, but just seeing the sun seeing the moon come over the sun, it's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Mm-hmm. And that blast when it comes out.
The whole experience, seeing it get dark, the street lights coming on, the locusts, cicadas, and the crickets starting up, all confused, and the birds were all landing. They were all coming out of the sky, landing in trees. The temperature drop. That was the most noticeable thing. That's what actually made it pleasant, because where I was in Tennessee, it was hot and humid.
Yeah.
And tell you what, that 10 degrees temperature drop was sure a welcome feeling at that point.
I thought I was nuts, but I told him I could feel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, 90%. Yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, Jack, you got some great car photos there. That really, really, some really classic cars there that you took down at the museum.
Oh yeah. I did share it privately with you guys, and like I said, I hope to share it with the community soon. With it, and I got a lot of stuff going on, but certainly I'm going to share that. It was that wasn't a classic car. It was actually Hollywood car stars.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, that was pretty. It was a little expensive. We spent probably an hour and a half. It wasn't very large, but they did have maybe, I'd say a couple dozen cars.
Yeah.
There were some things I couldn't take pictures of because of the way they were displayed, like practically in low light. And I'm just using my camera phone, camera on my phone. So, but I did take some photos that are worthwhile sharing at some point. Yeah. The experience. I queued up here when it's my turn. I'm going to. I accidentally videotaped the coming of the eclipse because it happened over span of an hour and a half. But I only have audio. I don't have video. But you could tell from the audio that it was pretty exciting. So what have you been doing there, Lou? Besides. You know what? I took a look at your video, part of your video this morning, and you were doing some fiber optic. I'm not sure what you're building.
I'm building this flying saucer. This is the
Hangouts or whatever.
It's this guy. It's the Hanniboo.
Yeah.
Hanniboo, and there's not a single part on it that I haven't either changed, cursed at, cut into, or otherwise desecrated.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those builds.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
Ah, yes.
Oh, shit. That thing's huge.
It's it's box size. It's about what's that? About 14 inches across. Yeah, 14 inches across.
Yeah.
It'll fit in the shelf. But yeah, it's given the tenor of the last few weeks, I've chosen not to make it a Nazi craft. Don't want to give them any more free air than they've been getting.
Oh, I tell why.
So I'm making it a Hydra. I'm making it a Hydra ship.
Hail Hydra. Sorry.
This is what I've got done on the inside of it so far. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm lighting up the consoles and if you were out gazing at the sun last week, I was cursing the death out of those landing gear. So,
Hey, what do you call the first dehydrant?
Dehydra. Shriveled up. That's it. That's what I've been working on.
Really?
Pretty much. Well, I'll tell you about fiber optic.
I like the idea of the Hydra ship with that. I can see Captain America and the Red Skull juking it out and on the outside of that thing when it's trying to fly along.
The fiber optics has been a test for this. It's just a warm up.
Oh, why do they have to always rub it in?
It's just a warm up for this guy.
Rub it in. Just rub it in. You know, I'll tell you what. The next person who rubs it in that they've got a Star Destroyer, that's it. You're off. You're done.
Heath, put your little face against the monitor.
I'll not show mine then.
Guess what?
But yeah, that's all that Star Destroyer is one big fiber optic lamp. So,
You know, if it didn't cost so much in Australia, I would take a plane to America, go to Ravel, grab one, then come on home again.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't fly to Germany and get one.
Oh, Germany's further away.
If I go to Germany, there'll be several places I'll be going.
Yeah.
Number one, the Nordschleife.
Well, let's see. Wait a minute. If you went to, would parts of Russia be quicker because then you can get the Zvezda version.
Zvezda?
You know, Hong Kong
is a lot closer than any part of the States to you.
Right. Hong Kong is close by to you. I mean, you can fly there and get anything in the world.
But the Hong Kong don't have only the Star Destroyer they have is the small one. They want the big bugger.
Yeah, you get the little.
It's close by to you. I mean, you can get
one.
I could probably fit your small Star Destroyer in the engine bell of this one.
Yeah, well, there you go. See? There you go. See? I'll tell you what, every single friend of mine in America, except for a couple, who have got the Star Destroyer, I don't write anything or do anything like that because the thing is, I'm fuming. I am fuming. And if I go to Amazon or something like that, they won't ship to Australia.
If we could mail you one piece at a time.
Oh yeah, right.
Dude, we'll pretend you're like a D'Agostini Falcon. We'll just mail you a piece every month.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. They might just do that.
There you go.
There you are. That's
All
the
right.
engine bell.
Randall's
How
got
you
it.
doing there, Randall? Thank you for pushing the conversation along there, Randall. How you doing?
Not too bad. I was so tempted to drag out my SD, but the thought of Heath, kicking me out, no, that was that was scary. Yeah, I made it. Yeah,
I'm scary, all right. You come on down here and you face the drop bears. And I'll tell you what, you'll be laughing the other side of your ass.
Oh no! Don't threaten me with the drop bears, please. Not that. What the hell are drop bears? Are people dropping koalas on people's heads down there?
They're like an ugly giant koala with huge pointy teeth.
Oh man!
Jack, you're so
That comes dynamite.
Yeah, anyway.
Come on, Jack, you missed this.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, yeah. I actually managed to finish a model. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, you finished one, huh?
The fact that I started it nearly 3 years ago kind of takes away from that a bit. But anyway, here it is.
I still hold the record for 20 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, I introduce to you Thunderbird 2.
Actual size.
Well, yeah. I wish.
What scale is that, Randall?
That is 350th scale.
Really?
Oh, that was minute.
Yep,
That was minute.
it's all of a. Let's see. The base it's on is. Oh, hold the ruler the right way around. 10 inches by 8 inches.
Mm-hmm.
The,
a photo frame.
Yep. The craft itself is overall about 9 inches in length, which is 23 centimeters in funny money.
Yeah, but
That is.
some of the smaller paintings are painting there, Randall.
Sorry, what's that? Do you hear me?
Some of the smaller painting you have to do is a lot harder than some of the larger painting you have to do.
Mm.
Wow.
I'm surprised you didn't put Thunderbird 4 in there.
There's versions of this kit do come with Thunderbird 4, but that would have meant having to model water, and I'm not quite up to that yet. I thought I was doing well just doing this base here with polyfilla kitty litter and that paint that gives you a stone effect.
Yeah.
Now, is this to go along with Thunderbird 1, is it?
You did sift it first, though, didn't you?
What the
Kitty litter.
kitty litter?
Randall, have you not
I made sure it wasn't the used variety.
Randall,
Yes, Jimmy.
have you not looked at that Citadel water effect stuff you can get?
I haven't actually bought any yet. I've been looking
Very,
into
very
it.
good.
My original plan was to have Thunderbird 4 being delivered into a lake, which would have run across here.
Yeah.
But, I think there was one episode where they did that.
Yeah.
But no, I chickened out of the water a bit. Sorry
Yeah,
to say.
I mean, I was a bit dubious about using it, but I did a build and I used some of it to give like a little bit of a lake effect. It's really, really good. It does give a water effect, very good.
Is this to go along with Randall? Is this to go along with Thunderbird 1?
Yeah, I have two Thunderbird ones. There's the small one, the 144 scale. Sorry, wrong. The 350 scale one, which I added the tea light to the plume a while back. And then I also have a 144 scale Thunderbird one, which actually what I should do is try and get hold of the Aoshima 144 scale Thunderbird 2, and then I'll have that to play around with. It'll be it's a lot bigger, obviously, and I'll have more fun with the lighting.
Randall, this is the stuff I'm on about.
Hang on a second.
And you get it from the Games Workshop. It comes off a gloop, but when it dries off like water. And you can get ponds and everything with it. It's really, really good. So if you ever want to do the water, have a go at that stuff. It's quite good.
That'll be one for Thunderbird 4 then.
Yeah.
Where are we? Yeah. I have two sources of power in the base. I have this jack socket here for mains power, and I also have a battery operated circuit in there as well. But I can switch from one to the other with this three-way switch. This way it's the battery, the other direction it's for the mains, and keeping it central, it's switched off.
That's smart.
But, I was caught out at a model show with a powered model that really needed mains power, but the display table was in the middle of the room and there were no sockets nearby, and even though I had an extension that could reach a socket, health and safety wouldn't let me run a cable across the floor that a lot of people were going to be stepping on.
Right, you have to put tape on it or something, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this time around I'd go for a dual source method. And whenever I do it when I run it off the mains, I'll be unplugging the battery, so there'd be absolutely no chance of the battery being accidentally charged up by the mains. But I think the circuit I have in there should allow me to keep the battery in, but I'll not take any chances and just unplug the battery whenever I'm plugging the mains in.
What's the voltage?
9 volt.
9.
Essentially the same as those square PP9 batteries. And back, and it's kind of hard to make out, but there's the wingtip navigation light.
Wow.
That was fiber optic laid into a trench that I cut on the underside of the wing, but like the way the AMT Enterprise D is done with the wart nacelle pylons. There's also a couple of fiber optic wall lights in the back of the cockpit here, but unfortunately they're kind of hard to see. In fact, nearly anything through that glass is hard to see.
Oh yeah.
Despite all the effort I made. And it's just one strip of LED tape that lights up the inside of the pod. and everything runs out either through the back of the pod or else down the brass tubing that I used for the legs. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I still have the Falcon from the Star Wars script build. My Bell X1 still sitting in pieces, awaiting my attention for my part 2 of the stunt and speed build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Oh yeah, the Bat missile is still sitting there waiting to be built. That's whoops. I just ejected the seat there.
Whoops.
But I managed to I did a loo there. I was doing a bit of fiber optic into the where's the camera? There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You can just about make out the glow there.
Uh-huh.
The ambient light from.
Yeah, you can see it.
What wasn't quite so successful were the Decal instrument dials, which actually have like clear, what do you call it, canopy glue behind them.
Yep.
But unfortunately, the Decals themselves are actually pretty opaque for a change. So when the light goes on behind them, it'll probably be just the surround of the dial that will be glowing. The actual figures on the dial itself won't be. But anyway, you can probably see none of it through the canopy anyway on the thing because the glass is that distorted.
Mm-hmm.
But
You'll more or less just see a little bit of a glow in there, and that's probably all you'll make out.
that's pretty much it. But it'll be something anyway, and I'll also have a flickering LED from a tea light in the engine exhaust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much me for today.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Jamie, I haven't gotten your package yet. I don't know. Did you get tracking on it?
No, for once I didn't, Jack. Bro, I've got the receipt if you want to see it for the post office. I did.
Well, that's all fine and good, but I don't know. Tracking would be. I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, I haven't gotten it yet, and you sent it. You sent it about a week ago, so it should be arriving shortly.
Yeah, it's in a package envelope, padded.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted like to send it just normal post because it had all the little parts in it. Was like £5 something. But for this package, if they wanted me to track it, it was like 13 or 14 quid. And it was like, I was a bit dubious on that. I paid that for that bloody model I sent to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was only an envelope.
Right, so now I have that kit on a top shelf looming over me because of you. I'm going to have to build it now. I'm not exactly thrilled with that prospect just yet.
I've just done all the washing of my pieces, took them off the screws, cleaned them up, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to have a mass clean up as you do when you finish doing modelling. And then
I don't clean up. What's that about? What's cleaning up?
Yeah, well, I like to start
Randall knows that, I think.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start building my toss again. This time being a bit practical on the lighting side of things, a bit more careful.
Well, I'm really happy that I'm really happy you're building the Enterprise in my honor. You know.
Mm-hmm. I am. You'll be able to see the black and paint windows lit up when I get them, Jack.
Screwing up and screwing up and screwing up, and eventually something comes of it. You know?
But I've had I haven't actually done a lot of modelling this week because I've been busy at work. But last weekend was fun. I went to see John Petrie, collect my base. That was like a 194-mile round trip. Like it was like nearly 400 miles altogether, which was an exciting day. And he's a nice guy, and you know, the base is absolutely fantastic, which is downstairs, which kind of, I was starting the Voyager, and when I got the base and I've got it now back home, it kind of kick-started me in wanting to get the model on the base. So it's kind of like I've put the Voyager away, and now I want to get working on my TOS Enterprise. So it's kind of like that, really. But
Oh yeah, I've got into a similar thing too, so I think I'll get myself unraveled with that as well. Yeah, I mean, eventually you're going to have to change on some of these big builds, like my Millennium Falcon. I had to put it aside before I went Lulu. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I had to figure out considering what I wanted to do, and I think I'm having a level of success better than I have been. But yeah. I can certainly relate to that. So that's all you're doing is just getting back into the TOS build, correct?
Yeah. I want to get back into the TOS builds.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that you get those parts soon, but start to get those windows off you, because I ain't got no windows.
Well, I think in the big picture of things, I can probably the windows that comes with that kit would make things a lot easier. However, with that being said, you can still do the windows without. Is my point.
I haven't got any windows, Jack. I've sent them you.
Well, no, I haven't sent them yet.
No, I said I've sent my windows to you. That's why I haven't.
But I'm saying though, in the big picture of things, when it comes to those windows, you don't necessarily need them because you can make them yourself.
Oh God, yeah. But I just think the ones that you're sending me for when I'm lighting up is just the perfect thing for me, and especially the black ones. Sure. It takes a lot to work out for me. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Very well. All right. So there's nothing for you to show and tell today. All right. That's fine.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'd show you the base, but it's downstairs and it's quite big to move around.
We're going to go to the disembodied modeler. How you doing, Wayne?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wayne.
Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne. Hand.
Hello. It's because of Nick.
Disembodied modeler. Yeah. Those are spirits that are building that model right now. Yeah.
It's the thing from Adam's Family.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we got going on there another time.
Wow.
This is this is the E100 standard Panzer tank destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've been working on over the past couple of weeks because it's been the kids' holidays, so I've been doing extra hours at work. So, okay, so that's one of the projects I'm working on.
Don't you hate it when you can't decide on what color to make it?
Yeah. It's gone from mounting, but I'm doing something with wheels now instead of tracks. Yeah. So I'm working on the German 8-wheeled armoured car. So it's got wheels instead of tank tracks this time. So, I've got it all painted with the base colour, so I've got to do the camouflage in a bit.
Do you not feel a bit strange doing painting wheels instead of tracks?
Not really. It's been sitting in my stash for ages, so I thought I'd just get it out of the way. But mainly concentrating on painting the figure. Now this camera's not doing this justice, but I've posted pictures on the both the community and the Facebook group. So that's what I've been working on this so far. I've got progress I've got on it. That's it.
Yeah, Mark says to you, Jamie, fire extinguishers are at the ready. So.
Yeah, cheers, Mark.
For the figures, I've had to use the FSS camouflage scheme. Set, and these paints are quite good because you can use them for your airbrush or normal standard paintbrush. So that's and they do quite a good job. Especially on these trousers or. For that, I've done the command as well.
I think you should do. I think you should do a Simon Marks on one of your tanks. You know, make it move and make it shoot real pellets. You know.
Yeah, but they cost a fortune to get the kits for.
Oh, to shoot pellets?
Yeah, to get that stuff, it's like over £500 some cost.
Oh wow! I didn't. I was just talking outside of my head when I said shoot pellets, but
yeah, you thought you were just being funny.
Yeah.
That's like I used to think about. There's the model train guys that actually had smoke coming out of their trains.
Yeah.
You make that smoke. Oh yeah,
Now they got now they got customized sounds. They got sounds from particular specific engines.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll put an IPMS show to shame.
Yeah, yeah. They deal with a lot of technology now that it's available.
Yeah, I've also got the Ammo MiG flesh tone set as well.
Oh, nice.
I could use a good somebody to tell me what colors to use for flesh.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever hear of a serial killer in Raleigh.
Yeah,
funny, I know where to get the lime in the tarps, but I don't know where to get the flesh-colored paint.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the M44 camouflage scheme as well for some figures I got in from Dragon. Which are going to be for them.
Nuxjagger.
Night Fighter?
Not yet, guys. Yeah, these are a re-release. So, I've got them. And I've got my usual stash mountain to get through. So, I've got a lot of armor kits to do. And I've got 3 Gundam kits as well in my stash. to do. So
I should keep you busy till almost to winter.
Yeah, it depends. I found him. I may get another one. Do a different color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say of the E100, I've done the. I've also been working on that as well. The E100 Super Panzer.
Oh yeah.
Bit of a multicolored one.
Is this another one of those paper projects?
Yeah. That's what it is, and fortunately, the colour's a bit bright for that. It was supposed to be a red oxide. It's more of an orangey colour. But I saw a video on YouTube, and if I use XF22, XS52, and XF78, they are like a paler version of the 3-tone camouflage standard. So you can do some light wall colours using these colours from Tamiya instead of buying the colour modulation sets, which cost about at least 15 quid, depending on where you get them from. So that's what I've been working on so far, and I've got another paper answer to do once I get around to it. It's going to be that monster there.
And lots
yeah,
more.
I got the kit. Yeah, but it's nice for a big size anyway. So found us a company that does the 1946 Tank Commander figures, so I may get one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just try and do a bit more. Try and do painting the figures a bit more instead of just throw them into the scrap box.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's about it. I'm not buying any more kits. I'm definitely not buying any more kits for a while.
Why not?
You used to say things like that. Never stopped me.
I literally haven't got.
Evil eBay. Visit Evil eBay.
No, I've lost faith because the estimated dates are off by a week now.
Boy, I was just talking to you guys. I just realized how much I was doing for the hobby. Well, of course, let's just get the Eclipse stuff over with. I just want to share one more thing about the Eclipse. As I mentioned earlier, I unwittingly had my phone record a video, but there's no video. It must have been laying down on the ground, but I only have audio, and I hope this comes through. And this is at the moment that it was coming in.
Who needs drugs? Just go to an Eclipse. That's why I said you should. Oh, holy heck! You should. It's just about there. Woo! Oh. You started that. You started it. Here it goes! Here it goes!
Cheerio.
That's it. That's when I wanted to take a picture of it, and of course the picture didn't turn. It turned out to be a blob. My phone can't focus on what it was seeing, so it was just a dot. And it was at that moment I thought, hell, I'm recording. How long has this been going on? But it was only that short of a time, though. I'm very pleased that at least I was able to record the moment that it occurred. It took an hour and a half for it to go for the first phases with a little bite out of the sun. We used, of course, solar glasses to watch that. And in the last, it was such a small little bit, and it took those seconds for it to finally go full eclipse. And as you heard, it was such a polite crowd there, and it turns out I started the cheering before it actually happened. So that was exciting. But aside from that, what does that have to do with scale modeling? Absolutely nothing, but it was a lot of fun. And I had a little bit of a side thing going on here in the scale modeling. I'm still working on the Millennium Falcon, and I'm really struggling with the cockpit. And I think I've got it together. I have destroyed a few things from the kit, namely the floor of the cockpit is kind of mutilated, and I don't. It's usable. I can fake it, but I instead had created a styrene floor for it. But I am using the dash, and I was able to get the fiber optics included into the dash and things like that. So I'm ready to get them hooked up to LEDs. So this is about where I am with it. This took quite a few weeks to figure out on my own to get it. I watched a lot of videos, but a lot of videos that I've come across are of the finished product and not necessarily like a how-to or a procedural type of thing. But the ones I've seen were just absolutely amazing. You can find them on YouTube. The hardest part of the whole thing was the photo etch. And I bought the the paragraphics photo etch for the cockpit. I'm not using all the pieces on it, particularly the cockpit floor. It's a little small. The cockpit instrument panel is there's just something off about it. It just seems like it's on a smaller scale. It doesn't seem right, so I'm not using that. But I wanted to use the back wall of the cockpit because it's pretty intricate. I could not replicate it with styrene. So I put it together as they suggested with super glue, and it fell apart constantly, and I ended up ruining it. I had to buy the photo etch again. I'm sure Jamie can relate. So this time I looked at the photo etch and thinking, I do a lot of soldering with copper wire, and brass is part copper. Will it work if I solder it?
Mm-hmm.
It works. It works. Let's see if I.
Nice and neat.
Yep.
Neat enough. Yeah. This is the back side, of course, and there's the seams between those top panels. So I did fold them so they touched, and then I soldered them. And the front, that's a marker. I was just seeing if I could paint the photo etch itself. No, I don't think I'm going to paint it because it will, let's see, get a focus here. There we are. Those are very tiny holes to let light through. But it does come with a decal set. I'm going to bathe this in Purple Bath, Purple Power, and clean it up and make it as grease-free as possible. And once it dries thoroughly, I'm going to use the decal set. There's the panels, the square panels for the surround, and then of course the round one for the back. So I'm going to try that, and wish me luck on this. This has been a painful process, an expensive one no less, because the paragraphics isn't exactly cheap stuff. They're good, but I don't know, this particular paragraphics that I'm not wild about. The Voyager ones are amazing. They work well. Well, it works well because really the photo etch, most of the photo etch lays on flat surfaces. Mm-hmm. And I think perhaps my super glue has gotten old, and everybody's encouraging me to get the Gorilla.
Gorilla glue. Yeah, the Gorilla Seer.
Yes.
It's a lot better because it's got that rubber in it. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, and maybe perhaps, again, I'm thinking my Jet super glue has gotten old. This is the thin formula, and it's not thin anymore. It's thickening up.
It's drying out, yeah.
Yeah, this used to be very watery, but not anymore. It's pretty thick now. So I think I'm going to have to dispose of it and get the Gorilla if I should need the super glue. But the super glue method did not work for me. Putting photo etches together like, but the ends together like this, or even like this.
Yeah.
Nah, it don't work.
Exactly.
It doesn't work for me.
That extra photo etch for the toss, that's getting rarer and rarer to get hold of.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking if it's flat surface to flat surface, that makes sense. But anyway, that wasn't working for me. So that's how I come up with soldering. And yeah, I think from now on, keep that in mind. If you are putting something together in photo etch, and it's very difficult to do.
I recommend this stuff to you, Jack, for some of your photo etch.
Let's see. A blend. What kind of blend?
Yeah, it's kind of like a thin, refined PVA glue. And it's good for holding stuff that's not going to have any stress on it, and a lot less messy than super glue, because well, if you can wash any excess off with water.
Oh, really?
Before it sets up completely.
Okay.
But as I said, so if there's not going to be any stress on the parts or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like a thick PVA, so you could use Aleene's super tacky too. Would probably do the same job.
What's the difference?
Mhm.
You're about James. That's because I use that just ordinary CA glue. That Gator stuff. What's the difference with it?
Well, the stuff that I have here, it's not actually CA.
No, the stuff that James was on about. He said it's really
Yeah.
good. James.
Yeah.
The name of that super glue you're using, what was it?
Which what? Repeat that.
CA glue. Which one did you recommend?
Oh, the Gorilla Glue, the Gorilla CA.
So what makes that difference to the other?
It's got butyl rubber suspended in it,
right.
and it doesn't shear. Where normal CA will shear quite easily, where this does the Gorilla Glue doesn't.
Oh, wow, I should try that.
James, can you use that on fiber optics? I know CA will make them brittle.
It should be the same thing. I wouldn't trust using it on fiber.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, there was one thing about soldering the parts is that you would need a 40 watt, a pretty hot solder iron. I bought I guess a 25 watt. I'm not particularly fond of the 25 watt, got to admit, because
it's a little cold. Yeah.
I think for wiring, because it does come with a. These are Weller. I buy Weller product, and I don't buy a station because I'm just that way. And I think perhaps reason I like I'll show you momentarily. This is a 25 watt here, and it comes with a pretty fine needle.
Yeah,
that works really well for wiring things. But for the also too, I think the needles come out.
They should have a screw, right?
No, they're in with a set screw.
Oh, okay.
They loosen a set screw. Okay, they come with different points. Is my point. But this is why I bought this one, is because of the fine point on it. It's hot enough to do like the
fine
basic
wiring.
Yeah, basic wiring. That's fine. But for the photo etch, I found that is a little too cool.
Yeah.
And the 40 watt, this is the 4x40 watt one, which I need to replace. The thing about the 25, you can buy the tips for it, the points for it separately. So that's going to be around for a while. This comes with a tip, but now it's gotten loose. It's gotten very loose. This tip separately costs as much as the whole thing. And what I like about this is whenever it goes kaput, I can take it apart, use the female and the wall wart male for my bases.
Right.
And it comes with 2 LEDs too that I can scavenge from it too, and maybe use it in a build. So there's some afterlife purpose to this, but for the 25 watt, it plugs directly in.
I'm still a big prefer the soldering station than the interchangeable tips and that, so I can change the tips as to what I require.
Don't tell me you solder your paper.
No.
I was just thinking that to myself.
Hey, James, I'll pick your head for a second.
Sure.
What is this?
That's an F-117.
F-117. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've got one of those too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew you guys would know. I don't know the model. I was given this by a person who wanted me to paint it or spruce up the paint job on it, but I was to look up some references.
Black, flat black.
Flat black.
Yeah, but that's what he wants. But it's a desktop model. It doesn't have the detail of the windows and any of that kind of stuff in it. But I just wanted to make sure I was, checking my references. Thanks, guys. I knew you would know.
So in between going insane with the what you call it, the Millennium Falcon build, I wanted to do this upright, do my Steve McQueen Bullet build, and boy, this is a great kit. This is a great kit. The parts fit together really well, and it's a breeze to do, and it has nice detail.
So it's not an antique.
And it turns out that I built this kit once before last summer, but there's some alterations to it because it's the Bullet. But I did post pictures of the interior and the engine, and I have to say it is a really fun, easy build. Even Lou can do this.
Hey. but tell me, Jack, does it come with the extra hubcaps?
No, because this is the Bullet. These are specific to this model. As it turns out,
that's an old inside joke. In the original Bullet movie, the car loses 5 hubcaps in a chase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't recall the movie.
It loses 5. It loses more hubcaps than it has.
But like Voyager and its shuttles.
Somebody in continuity.
Somebody in continuity just wanted to use that shot of yet another flying off. Oh, nice.
Okay. Well, this one I did last summer. I never really finished it. I got to put the tail lights on and then rear view mirrors on. The hood is different on this build, but otherwise, these two are the same. These two are the same, and there are some differences like the wheel rims and so on. So I have put that aside there. I'm kind of in some respects, I will say, we talked about this privately. There are modelers out there that'll spend hundreds of dollars on a kit, but when it comes to certain things, they don't want to spend even a spit worth of money on it.
Yeah.
And my thing is that really nifty Tamiya holder stand, what do you want to call it, that revolves to hold the car body up while you're painting it.
Yeah.
I'm too freaking cheap to buy it. And here I thought I was being genius, and you all thought of this before me. It's sort of like I'm coming up from behind thinking I'm an original here. I'm using an old spray paint can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I have a popsicle stick in there to hold it up off of the lid.
The old
so
rattle cannon popsicle trick. Yeah.
And some blue tack.
Yeah, and you know, this cap is plastic, so the body slides over it really nice. It doesn't bend it too much, but it's on there, pinches on there firmly, but not like it bends the body out of shape. No. And here I was able to do a 98-cent enamel flat black paint to do as a primer. I'm using this paint as a primer. And I often do use this paint as a primer when it comes to cars. I sometimes use the Vallejo primer, but with the Vallejo, you'd have to do. The thing is, though, when you do a primer, it has to lay really flat. I mean flat. To accept the paint, then the paint will end up being flat too. You can't use textures on this thing, basically. No. And I thought I was being really clever by holding a can away from a appreciable distance. You know, wasted half a can of this paint. And when I finally finished, I looked at it and I'm like, well, hell, the paint dried as it landed on the model. So I did a purple bath on this, did some light sanding, and then redid it, and it came out perfectly flat now. So I'm really pleased with, now I got to mask off the parts that are going to stay black, because there are a number of areas where it does stay black, such as around the rim of the window would stay black, and the headlight well stays black. Mm-hmm. And that grill down below, very bottom below, will stay black. There's other. I have to look at the reference pictures, and I think the taillights end up staying black too. but they're covered with a clear part, and I'm going to put paint on the back side of the clear part, just like I did on this, because this turned out, the taillights turned out really good on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look good.
They turned out. I'm very pleased with painting the back side of a clear part, because it gives some dimensionality to it, and of course it won't rub off, because paint doesn't stick too well to clear parts. I'm doing that, but there's something else about this. Oh, just the night before leaving for Tennessee, I happened to be in an Vance Auto. I don't know why, but I was able to buy my correct paint color for the Bullet. So this is the Ford Deep Jewel Green, and yep, I'll be painting that today once it warms up a little bit more outside. It's been like fall out there today. Sunny, but kind of like fallish. So
Yeah.
really, that's been my adventure for the past 8 weeks. I'm really pleased I'm back and back in action and doing some modeling. And two, I have some things planned, and I'd like some feedback as what kinds of things do you want to try for the new season between now and the coming June, July of next year. And I thought of, doing some eBaying again. At first, when I first started the community, I was a horrid eBayer, and I stopped doing it. But I've started going back and finding some good deal. I'm being a little wiser this time. And I found this funny car kit. And this seems, I hope this is a popular one. I don't know. But I found a good, and it's brand new and it's shrink wrapped. And I'm thinking maybe perhaps, I don't know, giving it to someone. I don't know. That's just a thought. And you just let me know what you all think of what we should do in the community to have fun. That's what it's all about, after all. We've been talking a lot about, this is so funny, we haven't even finished our builds. We're already talking about the next community builds.
Yeah.
Next year. And so far we come up with nautical, real space, nautical, and wood, a wooden model. Because that's where scale modeling began, was with wood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those three things is certainly something we would consider. And I'd like to see Wayne out there with a log in the back lot with a chainsaw carving out a tank from a log. that would be.
Chainsaw. I'm just saying, I'm not that with a chainsaw.
Well, it'll take a lot longer with a hobby knife. You realize that?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed. Power tools and me don't mix.
Oh, I see, power tools and you don't mix. Well, it's a good thing to admit. I mean, at least keeps you alive.
And he's got to know his limitations.
And your limbs, keeps your limbs intact too. Yeah, but I think a wood build would be of interest. There is a model company out there that makes them, and I can't remember the name of them, but I'm thinking of doing a airplane skeleton, basically, sort of not even put a skin on it. That's what I'm thinking of doing. But anyway, that would be actually nice. But sniffing glue on that wouldn't be so much fun because it's white glue. But those are the things that I thought. Nautical, that could be military, nautical military, or just nautical like
tankers,
like Titanic ships. Tankers. Yeah. Battleships, merchant ships, the Black Pearl. I guess that would be considered nautical.
You can do your Black Pearl.
Yeah.
I might go for an invisible model, Jack.
Well, I build a lot of those. I have a whole room filled with them. Actually,
you're losing the damn thing.
I can't find anything.
On the floor, it's gone.
I have a cooked Klingon bird of prey around here somewhere, but I switched the damn thing on. I haven't seen it yet since.
And to
Time Machine, I still haven't seen that one either.
And sort of to cater to the sci-fi in all of us, including sci-fi people, a NASA build or a European Space Agency build or something that's real space, like Jim did the...
Oh, I haven't finished. I got to get back to finishing my SpaceX Falcon 9.
Yep, the Falcon 9. Yep, that too is something would be exciting, and I have something in mind, but I'm not sure exactly how I want to approach it. I have to think about it. But yeah, a real space, NASA or all the other space agencies, scratch build. I think that could be one of the big builds that you can add to your build. The others could be out of the box. So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see somebody get into rocketry, build a model, and crash it into the neighbor's house. That'd be nice. I wouldn't do it, but it'd be nice to watch. That's what we're thinking of doing. So anything that you have in mind, you can just blurt it out on the community and talk about it. But I think these are the things we're coming up with. The long and short of it, we should be wrapping up at least the car builds, the stunt and speed, the street muscle, and custom builds. And I'm looking to budget out, budget out a shop card for those, but I want something in return. I want to make a video of anybody who wants to participate in that and show off their stuff. I got to find out how to use Google Drive. I think that'd be the better way to do it. What do you think, Jim?
Well, that's one possibility.
Yeah.
We'll have to discuss it and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and give clear instructions.
Yeah.
Yeah, which will be the best way. Shop card. I just need to know how much to print, because I'm not going to, those I don't want to overprint. I mean, I got 200 shop cards now. I'm doing the unabashed promotion of the community. Got less than 200 now, but maybe 150 of these illustrious community. I can always give these away to whomever wants. Just send me your snail mail and I'll send you the official. What makes it official is this little part here, a Google Plus and Facebook community. So this was never posted online to copy and use, but if you want this official, send me your snail mail to my email at scratchandjackmodels@gmail.com and get one of yours. And if you've gotten one and it's ragged, just let me know. I'll send you another.
You can always frame it.
You can always frame it and be so anal about it, like Mr. Well, you know, I have to agree. Mine isn't framed, but maybe I should frame it. But mine has been
Stops it from fraying.
Adulterated with Scooby. So, and I got this off of a snack box of graham crackers named Scooby Snacks. They actually look like dog biscuits. They really do look like that. They sure don't taste like them. Maybe it was like graham crackers, but anyway, they were delicious, and that's what I did to mine. But I should frame it because it's probably going to get destroyed here at some point. That's all I really have. Anything else you all got going on? No. We're going to tomorrow. We have the Sunday Hangout, and I've come to the conclusion on the Sunday Hangout we will do community shares. I'll share photos or screen shares of what's been going on in the community, what people are putting together. We'll talk about those. The Sunday show will be more about that, whereas, you know, this Across the Pond is much more social. I mean, we killed an hour and a half so far. Yeah. And I haven't mentioned very much of what's been going on over to the live chat. There has been a slow conversation going on. Hey, Bob showed up. He actually lived in the zone of the eclipse. I'm hope he used glasses and didn't go blind. Let's see what else. Just got, oh, what's this? This is something interesting. Bob says just got the Star Trek Daedalus Cruiser kit. Really? There is a kit?
It has to be a garage kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. Let's see. Mark is thinking everybody's talking about Gundam, but that's Mark for you. MiG Black one-shot primer, same stuff and cheaper. Oh, Mark says he's using the UMP Badger primer. Awesome stuff. And Bear, I'm just calling him Bear Model Work. I just can't pronounce that whole thing. And he does ammo, MiG Black one-shot primer, same stuff and cheaper. And Ken Zimmerman says, I have the
Steinl-Res.
Steinl-Res Badger primer. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use cheap stuff. Yeah, 98 cents. And Dirk is saying, what's up, people? So they're having a conversation. I love those, I think Dirk says, I love those Mustang kits, but they sit too high in the nose. They need to be lowered. What are you trying to say, Dirk? They need cosmetic surgery? I don't know. Do a nose job on a Mustang? So, yeah.
William's doing his Darth Vader impersonation there.
What's that?
Hello.
Randall?
I was just saying, Wayne's doing his Darth Vader impersonation there.
Oh, Wayne.
With a spray mask on.
And he's breathing heavy, too. I mean, it works better without the mask if you're breathing heavy.
Yeah, no, I've got this for my airbrushing.
That's my point. Not that I'm advocating sniffing fumes, but anyhow, join us tomorrow for the Sunday Hangout. We'll do some screen shares of the community and talk about what's been going on. And hey, it's been great coming back and seeing you all and having a good time and still building models. And in 2 weeks, we'll have the Across the Pond again. And join us then as the community evolves and the builds evolve, see what's going on. Make any suggestions. I'm really welcome to anything. So just let me know, or any of the guys here would be someone who can relay messages to or hash it out with them. That's all I got. So thank you for, go to our community. One last thing, go to our communities on Facebook and Google Plus and join and share and like and subscribe to this channel. This is Scratch and Jack, your host for the Amazing Scale Modelers Hangouts. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy modeling, everyone.
Have a good day.
All right.
I see.